So I want to welcome everybody to the Birthing the New Earth Economy Circle, and this is the 10th circle. We started last September, and yeah, we've gone almost the whole year. And per usual, I just want to thank you all for stepping up, and because I know you really understand what this venture, what this circle is all about. You know, it's about us coming together. It's an energy circle. And we're energetically helping to set the intention and energize the vision for the new earth economy and our own unique contributions to it. And I know that many of us have been feeling that we're being called at a deeper level to serve, and we don't all necessarily have clarity around what that looks like. But I feel like when I look at all of your faces, I feel like I'm in the presence of all these wonderful trailblazers. So I want to thank you for being here tonight and for supporting this intention and this energy. And I just want to mention also that if you feel better keeping your camera off tonight, if you're more comfortable doing that, feel free to do that. And to start our circle, we're going to do what we always do, which is our loving kindness, our metta visualization to create a safe, energetic container for our time together tonight. So I'm just going to invite you all to close your eyes and just bring your awareness within. And just bring your attention to your breathing. Feeling the natural soft breath. And just sense or feel or imagine that you can breathe in and out of your heart. Feel your breath as if you're breathing in and out of the area of your chest where your heart is. Gently, slowly, and easily. And as you center yourselves at the breath at the heart, send a loving kindness blessing to yourself. Then send that blessing out to everyone in the group. May we be happy. May we be well. May we be at peace. May we know our prosperous nature. And just see and feel yourself receiving these wonderful blessings from everyone in the group. And take one more deep, deep, deep breath into your heart center and hold it there for a moment. Then release it. Then do whatever you need to do to ground yourselves. You can imagine roots coming out of the bottoms of your feet, going deep, deep down into the earth. And when you feel ready, allow your eyes to open gently. Beautiful. So for all of you who, and I think all of you have attended before, so you know the drill about the standards of presence. And we use the standards of presence as a guide for how we hold space together. And I always send it out with my emails. So I'm sure you've had a chance to review them before. And I would just request that if you agree to abide by these agreements, that you type yes in the chat. If you can type yes in the chat. Great. Thanks, Margie. Thanks, Henry. Thanks, Marcy. Okay. Thanks, Anne. Okay. So also, I think you all know that I record these circles, and I'm going to be uploading the recording and all of the recordings at our private LinkedIn group page. And if anybody has any concerns about that or questions, please let me know. But it's a very, intimate group, and it is growing, but it's a private group. So this is not a recording that will be distributed widely. So there's no obligation to do this, but this is our time where we open up the circle for anybody who wants to introduce themselves and just say hi, or if you want to share a little bit about yourself, or if you want to share a bit about your vision or anything that's on your heart or your mind about the new earth economy, or about what you're feeling called to birth in your life or your work. That would be awesome. So would anybody like to just introduce themselves or say hi? And Roxanne, I know you're frozen, so no worries. Anybody want to do this before? Are we feeling? Patricia, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Nice to be with you, Mary, and all of you tonight. I just thought I would just say I just feel a little like I feel really good and at peace about where I'm at, and I've had a lovely break from being in the city. I was in BC for 2.5 weeks. Visiting my sister in the Kootenay Mountains in Nelson, and it was her 70th birthday. And while I was there, also had a week at the ashram there. It's Yashodhara. It's an ashram that was founded by a woman, and it's been around for 60 years, and it's a female lineage. And so that's, yeah, I'm not sure. I think I froze there for a moment. Just the teachings that they had were such that it could be incorporated in any path, any journey anyone is on, any religion or not. And it's really about the divine energy and light within us, around all of nature in the world. And it was really beautiful. And I feel a little bit of a shift from that, which is really nice. It's just how I take in knowledge and information. So feeling good about that. Did it get me any closer to where I am going as far as my path and what unfolds next? It doesn't seem like it, but I'm just staying open to it. Okay, thank you.
That's beautiful, Patricia. And I mean, I can tell from just looking at your face and your energy, it seems like you've been on a retreat. You're just like glowing, and energy is very calm, very peaceful.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. And I would go back and certainly, and the way that we were all taken care of there, hard to get to, but once there, it's just such a beautiful small community.
Oh, lovely. That's lovely. Well, thank you for sharing about that. And maybe, you know, if you don't mind writing in the chat the name of it and the location so that, you know, we can
Okay, yeah, sure.
make note of that. That would be great.
Yeah.
And would anybody else like to say hello or just tell us how you're doing tonight or how you're feeling tonight? Anne, I think you have to unmute.
Yes, hi.
Hi, Annaline.
I've got my AC on, so I hope it's not too noisy.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Okay, good. Yes, I've been feeling the energy of the decision to overturn Roe versus Wade this past few weeks or whatever, a week and a half, and feeling the rage of women and just the frustration. And so I sort of sat with it and I realized I had a poem. So if you're open to it, I'll read a poem.
Oh yeah, that'd be lovely.
Okay. And it's just called The Goddess Speaks. Do not fall back to sleep. Wake up, beloved ones, from a long slumber. Our Mother Earth is calling. She's in the last rattle throes. Awaken, awaken, awaken. Rejoice in your own divine essence and presence. You are here for a reason. Accept your unique beauty, brilliance, and godness. Stand in the light of your truth. Be the beacon. Don't fall back to sleep. Arise, arise, arise.
That's beautiful, Annaline. Beautiful.
So just returning to that poem, and it just sort of, I don't know, it gave me peace. And I thought, okay, I think I meant to share it. It might touch somebody and it might be what they needed to hear.
Absolutely. And I must say, it's really appropriate. It's very connected to what we're going to be talking about tonight. So I love it. I really feel that peace and that reconciliation of all of these divergent kind of energies and opinions. Beautiful. Thanks, Patricia. We've got the name of the ashram in Kootenay Bay, BC. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Annaline. It's lovely. Does anybody else want to say hello or tell us how they're feeling tonight? And there's no pressure for you to do that. Just if you want to, or if you feel inspired to. And it's, as you know, it's always okay to be quiet tonight. So, so we're gonna move on then, if everybody feels complete who wanted to share or introduce themselves. And so we're gonna move on to the teachings part. And I also want to mention, I know Patricia wasn't here last month, but we had decided that we are extending the circle. So it will run, the latest it'll run till is 8:30. But 90 minutes, it allows us to have the space to do our energy work without rushing and do some integration. And so that's what we'll do. And so we always start with a bit of a recap around what we learned for the first 3 months of 2022, because we learned the 3 keys to conscious creation of our individual visions for our work and for the New Earth economy. And just to recap, so the 3 keys are: number 1, developing and deliberately using our imagination in a very disciplined way. Number 2 is regularly using practices that harmonize our brainwaves and allow us to produce the optimal brainwave state for conscious creation. and problem solving. And this includes harnessing our sleep states. And number 3 is understanding and working with the 3 departments of the mind. And this includes clearing and anchoring specific thoughts and feeling states. And these 3 keys, they, as you all know, they do integrate together. And it's really a different way of being in the world. We're so taught to put action, external action first. And this is about internal action, you could say, practices that we do internally. And last month, we also learned about there are other considerations in consciously creating reality. And one of them we talked about last week, which is the power of surrender, the practice of surrender, and learning how to embody letting go, and really understanding that it's an embodiment practice. It's not just a mental practice. It's something that we do and we can feel in our body when we're in surrender. And this month, we're going to continue, as we always do, putting into practice everything that we've learned. But we're also going to be exploring what authentic confidence, trust, and poise are, and also how they relate to surrender, because surrender is always a part of this. And we're going to learn what the keys are to cultivating authentic confidence, trust, and poise. And we'll learn some tools to help us do so. And finally, we'll do our guided visualization that will help us to let go of thoughts and feelings that are the antithesis of confidence, trust, and poise. So these are things like fears and doubts and worry, feelings of unworthiness, insufficiency, and aloneness. And we're going to download the thoughts and feelings of authentic confidence, trust, and poise. So I'm going to ask you, what do confidence, trust, and poise mean to you? And I know, the last one, poise, it's not a concept or a word that's, I would say, is commonly used, but how would you define confidence and trust and poise? Does anybody want to take a stab at that? Annalie?
I think it has a lot to do with believing in oneself, not having one's inner compass jolted or taken off balance, because knowing instinctively that you already are fully embodied in that, and when you are, nothing can knock you off of it. So you automatically are in your trust, you are in your confidence, and you're in your poise, unless you are so affected by the outer world or other people's opinions that it knocks you off balance. But if you are secure in yourself, nothing can knock you off of it.
That is a perfect definition. And I love how you captured this concept that it's something that we have inside of us, and it's not dependent on what's going on around us or what's going on in the external world. Does anybody have another definition of those 3 qualities, or something they'd like to share as a reflection about those? Okay, so I started out with this Oxford English Dictionary definition, and it's not quite as, it's not conceptualized the same way that Annaline has described it, but it's still, a valid definition. So the definition of confidence, they have 2: the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something, firm trust, and a feeling of self-assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities. And trust, they define as a firm belief in the reliability, truth, ability, or strength of someone or something. And poise, they describe as graceful and elegant bearing in a person, balance and equilibrium. So authentic confidence, which is what Anne described, authentic confidence, trust, and poise, they are essential to conscious creation. And this is where a lot of us have challenges in creating our reality, is because sometimes we lapse into a more external experience of confidence. Joseph Murphy, and he's an author and spiritual teacher I've mentioned before. I like to call him a practical spirituality teacher, because I think everything he teaches is really pragmatic, like we can use it in a practical way. And he said that the higher self is the key to turning on confidence. And I would say the higher self is the key to turning on authentic confidence, trust, and poise. And as Anne has highlighted, these are qualities that arise internally. And they're not dependent on external validation or other people or circumstances or conditions. Those external things are effects. They're not causes. And so when we artificially try to increase our confidence, we're not operating from that higher self-truth. We're operating from our ego minds that are fearful and that seek security and validation and reassurance from externals. The Russian physicist, and I've mentioned him previously in another circle, his name is Vadim Zeland, and he says, we make externals too important. So one of the other important, pardon the pun, one of the other important things in reality creation is to reduce the importance of externals. So we need to take our focus off of the externals and put our focus more on our internal reality. And so at best, when we follow the ego's pursuit of confidence, trust, and poise, we end up with false confidence, trust, and poise, because it's anchored in duality. And what we experience when we do that, it's really just an expression of what we might identify as the positive side of a polarity. And polarities are, last circle we talked about attachments and aversions, and those are the ego mind traps that we get caught in that keep us from experiencing our higher self, from feeling that peace and feeling that poise, that authentic confidence and trust. So polarities being basically attachments and aversions, those are very powerful parts of ourselves to work with. And a teacher that was really fabulous in doing work around polarities, her name is Leslie Temple Thurston. She's no longer teaching, but she taught how to work with these polarities inside of ourselves in order to free our consciousness. And we're going to use a tool of hers in a moment. But back to the ego mind, because there are so many books out there about how to develop confidence and trust and things like that. And a lot of them do work within this framework of the ego mind. So when it comes to trying to develop confidence in ourselves, when we're doing it from that ego mind perspective, pride is something that really affects us. And pride is that part of us that tells us that we're either better than or less than. And so it keeps us trapped in this dynamic of always trying to go towards the side of feeling better than. and pushing away the side of feeling less than. And another way of describing that particular polarity is the ego polarity of superiority and inferiority, or self-importance and worthlessness. So the pursuit of confidence, like I said, by the ego, is largely an attempt to stay on the, feeling better than, or the self-importance side of the polarity, to feel superior, which we mistakenly believe is confidence. But it's a false sense of confidence, because we inevitably swing back to the other side of the polarity, feeling inferior or worthless, the moment doubts come up. And, we've all heard this expression, compare and despair. So we're taught to compare ourselves with other people. And so that can just create those doubts again and take us to that other side of the polarity. So it's basically a no-win dynamic. And the way out of this particular dynamic is to surrender these polarities operating in us to our higher selves, or to our divine consciousness that's right inside of ourselves, and open to the middle way. And the middle way is like a unification or a resolution of those polarities. And in this case, the resolution of, let's say, inferiority, superiority, or self-importance and worthlessness, the resolved state, the middle balance, the poised state, is the state of humility. And I know I always used to think humility is like, it's weak. Like I thought it was sort of a weak sounding quality, that it meant you're meek or something. But I think it's really misunderstood, because that's not what humility actually is. It does have the aspect of being humble, but it goes beyond being humble. And we actually find our inner power in humility, because it aligns us with our higher selves, with our divine consciousness. So humility, really at its essence, is non-judgment of ourselves and others. So we don't indulge in feeling worthless or inferior, and we also don't indulge in feeling self-important or superior. So you can tell it's the more balanced state. So before we have an experience of an exercise called triangles, it's a Leslie Temple Thurston exercise. Does anybody have any questions or comments or reflections about anything I've shared so far? Patricia.
Yeah, you see, one of the things that's easily conditions us in life, and especially me, is comparisons, because I've dealt with comparisons in my own family of origin. And then I see how much that it's rampant in the financial service industry where I came from, because there's always comparisons. You're not as good as the next advisor, something like that. And so it's like compare and despair. I've been working with a few financial advisors about that, and I just say that's something. It's like how to eliminate. It's just something to become aware of. So I say compare and aware.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so just have an awareness. It's okay. It's going to come up. It comes up in me. It comes up in many people, but it's just to catch it before that kind of spirals, like I'm not good enough as the next person comes up. So I'm glad that you brought up that the what happens when we compare, we fall into despair.
Absolutely.
But instead of that, we could just come into awareness.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
And so when we're in that state of awareness, it's like the witness. So we're witnessing the swing of the polarity going on inside of us, right? We're witnessing, seeing our consciousness going over to that side of the worthlessness or feeling not enough or inferiority, all of those qualities that are very similar. And so we can then have a choice of what to do with that. And so the beauty in the once we're aware of that is we can offer that up to the higher part of ourselves to reconcile it so that we don't have to keep re-experiencing the polarity swings over and over again. Now, I don't mean that happens just when you do that once. It's we have to keep turning it over, right? But this is one really powerful way of transcending these really tenacious ego patterns that really keep us from experiencing that authentic sense of confidence and trust, self-confidence and trust. So beautiful. So anybody else before we do the, we'll do the triangle exercise. Anybody else want to weigh in on this? Any other reflections you have? I know it's a lot of this sounds very esoteric, so it takes some reflection. It's really powerful stuff. I've been working with polarities for at least 20 years now, and it's pretty amazing transformational stuff. So we're going to do what's called triangles, and normally, you know, it's something you might do, and you might want to do this as a drawing of a triangle on your page, but the way that I'd like to do it tonight is just to do it in our imagination. But afterwards, you can definitely draw a little diagram for yourself, because that's the other way of doing it is on paper. So I would just invite you all to close your eyes and imagine that there's a triangle in front of you, in front of your eyes. And at the bottom left corner of the triangle, imagine the words self-important and superior appear. That's on the bottom left corner of the triangle. And then imagine on the lower right corner of the triangle, the words inferior and worthless appear. And just for a moment, feel these states of consciousness in your body. Feel that one side of the triangle, the feeling of self-importance or superiority. And then go to the other side of the triangle and feel the feelings of inferiority and worthlessness. And now surrender both of these sides. Surrender self-importance and superiority and inferiority and worthlessness. Surrender them to your divine consciousness, to higher consciousness, whatever that looks like inside of you. And now imagine these words appearing at the top of the triangle. So at the very pinnacle of the triangle, see the words humility and surrender. Now feel those states of consciousness in your body. Feel humility. And humility is that feeling of neutrality. You feel neither worthless and inferior or self-important and superior. You're just neutral. Feel that feeling of humility. You feel neither less than or more than. And then feel surrender. And surrender is the feeling of giving up our small, limited selves to the divine consciousness within us. Notice what humility and surrender feel like in your body. And once you feel complete, allow your eyes to open gently. So I just want to acknowledge Amanda. And Amanda, I just wanted to say hi. You don't have to say anything, but we just want to acknowledge your presence here. And it's just lovely to have you here. So that was the, hi, hi Amanda, great. So that was the triangles exercise that we did on that polarity of inferiority and superiority, or self-importance and worthlessness, and surrendering that up to open up to the feeling of humility, which is the unification of those extreme ego compulsions. And it's totally normal that we have those. So there's no shame in having them. It's just that they keep us trapped in never really claiming that authentic sense of confidence and trust and poise. So the first step is always letting go of our ego mind's pursuit of confidence, trust, and poise to our higher mind or our divine consciousness. We want to let go of the struggle. We don't want this to be, when we're in struggle, we're in our ego mind. So we're letting go of the struggle for a sense of self-worth, and the struggle for confidence, and the struggle for trust, and the struggle for poise. We're basically pausing, putting that polarity swing on pause. And we're surrendering to our higher self's wisdom. We're surrendering to that ascended balance state that's the unification of these opposites. As we said, in this case, humility. So the next step in cultivating authentic confidence and trust and poise is, and the triangle work and the polarity work, it does this as well, but we can go to other practices to help us change our subconscious fearful, doubting beliefs. And doing the polarity work is actually very powerful in doing that as well. But another way we can do this is by strengthening our connection and our awareness to our higher selves. So really becoming more aware that we have this part of ourselves that is divine consciousness. It's not something that's outside of us. I mean, I don't know about you, but I was raised in a religion where I was taught that was outside of me. And so this is the thing that we're learning. We're unlearning that, and we're relearning this, that we all have divinity within us. We have a super conscious mind that's always there to guide and support us. So it's to help us to believe in that ultimate self, in that self within us, the infinite intelligence that we already have in us. And so we have to kind of work on changing our concept of self, or changing the way that we identify ourselves, and learn how to identify more and more with that part of ourselves that is divine, our divine true nature. And so our authentic confidence arises when we realize that this higher intelligence resides in our subjective depths, and that we can access that part of ourselves, and that that part of ourselves is here to guide us and is benevolent, is, has all of our good, that it has our best interests at heart. And so there's no need to be doubting or fearful or insecure with this divine presence, because it's always there to support us. So we can practice aligning with the divinity within ourselves. And I know you all have wonderful practices that I know you do, that help you to connect with, come in conscious contact with that divine consciousness inside of you. We can practice the presence of divinity in us periodically throughout our days. Even when we're having a really busy day, we can pause and we can just go inside for a moment and just set an intention. I feel and I acknowledge the divine presence within me. So, it's especially powerful when we're feeling disconnected. And this is how we develop that more authentic kind of confidence and trust. We start relaxing a bit more inside, because we have a stronger sense of, that everything is unfolding for our good, that we don't have to, project worry and fear out into our external reality. We know that we're completely supported within ourselves. And it's the only real security there is. It's authentic security too. So the poise that we experience from that is we feel like we're in balance. We feel balanced, we feel whole. And that is the place that we can really create from. That's where we can consciously create our lives, our relationships, our work, our businesses. And it's a very different experience than creating from our ego minds. So before we go on to the guided visualization, are there any additional reflections or comments or questions? Margie, go ahead.
I just thought it was so powerful around just pondering or getting into the energy of humility and surrender, which felt to me like that is our natural state, because it felt different having the energy of superiority, self-importance, and the polarity of inferiority and worthlessness. They're partners, and it's almost like I'm not enough or I'm too much, and it just does not, sit well, even if we strive to find the balance and to just have the words around humility, and to just get into the energy of, wow, that feels like a natural state. And that was really helpful for me, because I think I was off of this natural state because I have just felt so tired. I guess external events, but also this striving internally, just so that maybe, there's always a part of us that questions, are we good enough and this enough and all that? And this is really helping me. And I really now felt, oh, this is what natural state feels like, which at least for me is the opposite of this exhaustion that I've been feeling.
Beautiful, Margie. I really appreciate how you process and how you describe and share your inner process. And I can tell you really become very embodied in the way that you process all of these ideas, all of these concepts. And that's really awesome. So, you know, what I'm hearing you say is that you can feel the distinction there.
Very much so. Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And, you know, Margie makes a really good point. Our physical energy is often reflective of what's going on in our consciousness, as everything is, right? Life is a state of consciousness. That's the bottom line. So, you know, when we're feeling, and I know sometimes I'll feel this energy of fatigue. And when I really kind of deconstruct it, I notice where it's coming from. It's coming from a very subtle thought pattern that may be, you know, one of those polarities, one of those thought patterns that has me stuck in the struggle. And when I'm stuck in the struggle, it expends a lot of physical energy. And on a subtle level as well, emotional and mental energy, sometimes we're not aware of. So I really appreciate you sharing that, Margie, and describing what you've been experiencing physically, because I think that is really relevant to this conversation here. Anybody else before we go on to the guided visualization? Annaline.
I was just going to share regarding the feeling of exhaustion. And I had been experiencing that. And then I realized that I've been keeping things inside of myself that I needed to voice to certain people. It was like I needed to speak my truth. And once I did that, it was so fascinating. The fatigue went away.
Wow.
And it
That's
was
amazing.
something that I acknowledged this week, that, wow, I have much more energy. It's like it was taking up space in me. It needed to be released and needed to be expressed in a kind way, of course, but it needed to sort of set boundaries or just be set free. And I'm sure it not only helped me, but it helped them too.
I love that. And you know, the whole thing of when in relationship, when we're needing to express something and when it's going unexpressed, what that does internally inside of us, how that can affect our physical energy, and it's taking up mental and emotional space, right? So that is a great example as well. And I love the idea of, you know, just kindly setting a boundary. We need to be kind to ourselves and ask for our needs to be met, right? So
Exactly.
that's beautiful. What a wonderful, wonderful behavior. You know, it's like beautiful. Thanks, Anne.
Thank you.
Anybody else before we do the guided visualization? Okay, well, this is the part where, as you know, you get to just totally relax and let go. And I always say, don't worry if you fall asleep. Although I have people who email me and say, I fell asleep during the guided visualization. Can you send me the recording of the circle, because I need to do it over again because I wasn't awake. And so, yeah, it's true that our subconscious is more present when we're in, let's say, an alpha and early theta brainwave state. But you know, there's still value when you are in a theta or even a delta brainwave, to whatever words are being said, your subconscious is still picking them up. So even if you're not consciously aware of the process of the meditation or the words that I'm saying, because I'm going to be incorporating some affirmations in as well, I just want to assure you that, you know, even when you're doing it wrong, you're doing it right. And that's our ego minds again, trying to trap us into thinking we didn't do it the right way. So just relax and enjoy it. And, you don't have to effort over this, just go with whatever happens for you. And we always start with, sometimes I use a different mudra, but this mudra I really like, and it's the Hakini mudra. And I like this one because it reduces stress and it balances our left and right brain hemispheres. And it also brings our brain and our body into balance. So it's a wonderful balancing kind of mudra. So I would encourage you to do that. It's just like a little tent with your hands, but don't strain them, and just allow them to rest in your lap like a little tent. So just start getting comfortable. And if you want to turn your camera off, feel free to do that, or you can keep it on, whatever your preference is. Just close your eyes and start allowing your body to relax as much as possible. And start by slowing your breathing down. And breathe deeply, filling up your solar plexus and then your sternum on the exhalation, on the inhalation. And then exhale slowly as you reverse. And just continue to breathe deeply and fully. Allowing this to be as effortless as possible. Just slow your breathing down. And breathe deeply. Allowing your brain waves to slow down. Now allow your tongue to relax. Focus on relaxing the tongue. Imagine it's floating in your mouth. Allow your jaw to relax and drop. Even allowing your mouth to open ever so slightly. And with each exhalation, feel your tongue and mouth relaxing even more. As you continue to breathe slowly and deeply, bring your awareness to your heart center. And imagine you're standing in the center of your heart. Feel how warm and safe you feel. Continue to breathe deeply, feeling relaxed and safe, resting in the center of your heart. And now visualize yourself connecting with the magnetic power of the earth. Imagine roots coming out of your feet, going deep, deep down into the earth and entwining around the earth's core. Feel the energy of the earth grounding and balancing you. Now imagine this energy is coming up from the earth into your body, opening up all your chakras. See this energy going up out of your crown as a beautiful ball of light. See your subconscious and conscious minds as part of this beam of light. And imagine you're moving with this beam of light above your head to the outer edges of the planet, on through the solar system and beyond the galaxy, until you gently push through the black void of space and connect with the pearly iridescent white light of your divine consciousness, your superconscious mind. Now bring into your awareness any thoughts and feelings of doubt, fear, worry, unworthiness, insufficiency, or aloneness that want to be felt, heard, and acknowledged. Just allow those thoughts and feelings to be here. And while still in this unified state of consciousness, allow this invocation to be made on your behalf. Spirit, divine consciousness, please locate the origin of my feelings and thoughts of doubt, fear, worry, unworthiness, insufficiency, and aloneness. Take each and every level, layer, area, and aspect of my being to this origin. Analyze it and resolve it perfectly with divinity's truth. Come through all generations of time and eternity, healing every incident and its appendages based on origin. Please do it according to divinity's will until I am at the present, filled with light and truth, divinity's peace and love, forgiveness of myself for my incorrect perceptions, forgiveness of every person, place, circumstance, and event which contributed to this, to these feelings and thoughts. Thank you. It is done. Feel a sense of gratitude and fulfillment coming into you. Then move your subconscious and conscious minds together, back down the beam of light, and gently come back into your body. Imagine any remaining residues of these thoughts and feelings being dissolved in every cell and DNA strand of your body. And replaced with the vibrations, thoughts, and feelings of authentic confidence, trust, poise, and peace coming from your divine consciousness into every cell and DNA strand of your body. Feel it as these vibrations are impressed on your subconscious mind. Accept it and give thanks. Thank you. It is done and it is so. Now see us all holding hands in the quantum field. And imagine divinity is channeling to each one of us the vision of the new earth economy. See a golden light stream of divinely aligned currency radiating from your heart and each person's heart in our circle and going around the globe. See this currency flowing from us and back to us in a never-ending flow. See this golden light stream of divinely aligned currency being attracted to every soul on the planet, meeting everyone's needs. Feel the universal prosperity, abundance, and richness that we're all enjoying, and the peace, joy, and gratitude we're all feeling. And just let those feelings land in your body. Now see this money, this currency put to work in the most useful, loving, productive, and supportive ways, benefiting all beings on the planet and the planet itself. Then imagine your divine consciousness is channeling to you the highest vision for your life, your health, your work, your finances, and your relationships. A vision of prosperity, grace, beauty, harmony, and well-being. Allow this vision to expand in your consciousness. Just rest in communion with this vision for a moment. And allow your conscious and subconscious to take in these affirmations and really feel them. Divinity's peace, confidence, trust, and poise saturate my mind and heart. I have a healthy, reverent respect for the divinity within me. I am full of confidence and trust in my senior partner, the divinity within me. I have supreme confidence and trust in divinity's guidance and direction. I am now in tune with the infinite within me. I am at peace. Really feel the fulfillment of these affirmations in your body. Take a deep breath. Still in this relaxed state, bring to mind your anchor, that image, symbol, word, or phrase that captures this feeling state of fulfillment. And very gently, allow yourself to begin to find closure for this meditation. Taking all the time you need to come to completion inside. Send your energy down from your feet into the earth below to firmly reestablish your ground of being. Adjust your energy and let your body stretch, flex, and move. And take all the time you need to come once again, fully awake and alert into your body. And when you feel ready, allow your eyes to open gently. And just let me know when you're back. Great. So does anybody want to share anything about their experience of the guided visualization? Or are we all sort of in that state still, being totally relaxed, which is fine. Okay. Well, I hope we're all back. I'm not sure, but not sure if Marseille and Patricia are back yet. But that's okay. We'll leave you where you are. There's Marseille. Hi, Marseille. And Patricia, I'm not sure if she's back yet, but that's fine because she might be having a really great journey. So per usual, your home play is to give yourself some time and space tonight to integrate these teachings and to integrate the experience of the guided visualization. And also the triangles exercise that we did. And another piece of home play is if you feel guided to do the guided visualization again. And I will be posting it at our LinkedIn group. If you haven't joined the group, I invite you to join the group. You can access it there, or I can also send you a link privately. And I would also encourage you to practice the presence of divinity periodically throughout your day, whatever that feels like for you, especially when you're feeling disconnected, or if you have those feelings of fatigue coming up, because this is a great way of building that authentic confidence, trust, and poise inside of yourself. And also practice the triangles exercise, and you can do it either internally or on paper, and I will be posting the instructions for that at the LinkedIn group page as well. And also I have a little visual of it so that you can see what it looks like. So you can access it there. And the other thing is to say the affirmations that I had in the guided visualization, and I will be posting them at the LinkedIn page as well. So you can access it there. So before we conclude, I just want to mention that we're taking a bit of a break over the summer, but I am planning, however, on having an online socializing gathering. I'm not sure what that's going to look like yet, and I'm not sure when the date will be. I'll probably send out a doodle poll, but I would love for us just to come together, whoever's available, just to have an informal chat and connect with each other and get to know each other a bit better. And I'd like it, it to be spontaneous and organic. So it won't be quite as structured as our regular circles, but I thought it would be fun to do something like that this summer. And then we will resume with our formal circle the last Tuesday of the month. That's when we always have them. So it'll be the last Tuesday of September, which is September 27th. So I invite you to put that in your calendar. And just a reminder also for those of you who haven't, well, this is part of the Spread the Love and Prosperity campaign, these circles. And I would invite you to go and look at the Spread the Love and Prosperity campaign page at my website to see. I will be adding something new there over the summer, and it's a guided visualization that I use in my program, the Money Shadow and Prosperity Consciousness Breakthrough program. And it's a recorded guided visualization, very powerful. The participants, they say it's like their favorite tool out of the whole program, which I wish I had known because I put it in very late in the program. But anyways, I'm changing that. And it's called Shattering the Illusion of Scarcity with Your Inner Child. So I'll be adding that as well as a download from my website. And also, if you haven't had a chance to have a complimentary session with me, I invite you to look at that as well. That's part of the Spread the Love and Prosperity campaign. no strings attached. There are 4 different types of sessions. You can apply for whichever session resonates for you. And before we sign off, I just want to thank you all for being here. And it's just wonderful having your energy here collectively. And Roxana said hi, she had to leave, and Amanda had to leave. She has a child, she had to take care of her child, who I think she was putting to bed. So yeah, so thank you all for your presence. I really love, seeing your faces here. And Henry, it's so great to have you here. Marseille, it's so lovely to have you here, Marseille. And Patricia, always love having your presence. Margie, it's always a blessing having you with us. And Annaline, it's always so wonderful having you with us. So many blessings to all of you. And I hope that you'll be able to attend our summer social. Like I said, I'll be sending out a doodle poll. So you'll find out about that probably within the next month. Okay, everyone. So take care and have a great summer. Hope to see you at our social. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Hey, thank you, Mary.
You're
Good night,
welcome.
everyone.
Good
Great to see
night.
you all
Good
again.
night, everyone.
Hey, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye, Annaline. Bye, Henry. Bye. Bye, Annaline.